The Wall Street Journal.
Collapse in oil prices deepens, dragging down markets globally. Further plunge in oil prices pulled down investments from stocks to currencies on Tuesday, stinging investors anew and adding even more urgency to the crisis sweeping the energy industry. Senate approves aid deal for small business. Congressional leaders struck a deal with the White House to send hundreds of billions of dollars in fresh aid to small businesses and hospitals, the federal government's latest effort to keep pace with the twin economic and public health crises created by the pandemic. Borders closed by virus imperil European farming agriculture in the EU depends on easy migration and an interconnected market. Caroline Gersod had recently finished training as a flight attendant when France went into a strict coronavirus lockdown, sealing its borders and grounding planes. Days later, the 19-year-old was waking up at dawn to pick white asparagus at a farm in southern France. Branson fights to save travel, tourism empire. Shutdown send more customers to Netflix. Netflix Incorporated ended the first quarter with nearly 16 million new subscribers, as people stuck at home due to the coronavirus pandemic are increasingly turning to streaming services to entertain themselves.
The Washington Post.
Trump aides scramble over immigration halt. OB cited in plan for 60-day suspension. Rush to resolve executive orders legalities, logistics. As U.S. deports infected migrants, worries grow. Screened but not tested, those expelled import risk to Mexico, Central America, Caribbean. Senate passes new aid package. $484 billion to bolster small business loans, hospitals and testing. U.S. prison factories are incubators for the virus. Someone in our building has it. Virus fuels tensions in condo, co-op and public housing complexes. Testing gap shows limit to state-by-state approach. When it comes to battling the spread of the novel coronavirus, Kentucky and Rhode Island might look similar on paper. They've done comparable numbers of diagnostic tests and lost similar numbers of residents to the disease. Israel may have an unprecedented power-sharing government. Will it work? A power-sharing arrangement between rivals Benjamin Netanyahu and Benny Gantz breaks precedents and carries risks.
The New York Times.
Senate approves more aid to fund small businesses. Democrats win concessions, including in testing, in $484 billion plan. I'm just living a nightmare. U.S. oil industry grinds to halt. From Texas to Montana facing an epic bust. Trump hotel seeks help from a familiar source. Family's business asks Udades about its lease. Trump to order a 60-day stop of green cards. Backs off his broader ban on work visas. Mapping path of virus from first U.S. foothold. They amplify fight against lockdowns, quietly. The conservative force behind the rallies. U.S. enters South China Sea. North Korea health rumors. Gronkowski back with Brady. Trump's bias claim is undercut.
Los Angeles Times.
Trump orders suspension of applications for green cards. President cites effort to curb pandemic's economic fallout. But the ban won't include foreign farm laborers. State plans to broaden testing criteria. California is now giving coronavirus testing priority to asymptomatic people in high-risk settings. Parts of states say they are ready to reopen. Counties with few cases contend they'll base moves on science, but Newsom has final word. Urban creatures coming out to play. As we're squirreled away at home, animals are reclaiming their turf. Naturalist Jerry Hahn stood in the middle of a lonely road in Griffith Park on Saturday, inhaled deeply through his face mask, and admired the natural sights and sounds of an oddly serene landscape that typically draws thousands of visitors each weekend. Judge refuses to live in a bubble. At 76, David O. Carter knows he should be home safe. But he wants more for LA's homeless. Anybody want to test my accountability by walking with me in a few moments down to Skid Row?
Chicago Sun-Times.
From Kaboom to Caput. 4th of July fireworks may be the next victim of virus, as some suburbs move to cancel their annual displays. Booms accompanied by UOs and ahs. They are 4th of July fireworks traditions that might be considerably muted this year, as coronavirus concerns have led several suburbs to cancel patriotic pyrotechnic displays, in what could prove to be a growing trend in the coming days and weeks. Muslims prepare for a Ramadan unlike any before. Observing Islam's holy month with its fasting and togetherness in a time of isolation and constant snacking. Community staple Victoria Manning, known as Mama Vic in Beverly, dies of COVID-19 at 62.
Chicago Tribune.
For state, peak at Grim Peak. Crowds mill around Millennium Park's Cloud Gate top exactly a year ago. On Tuesday, the famed sculpture was devoid of visitors and people amid a stay-at-home order imposed by authorities to curb the current coronavirus pandemic. Pritzker. Virus may not wane until May. Governor J.B. Pritzker is now saying the new coronavirus pandemic may not peak in Illinois until mid-May, while Mayor Lori Lightfoot on Tuesday predicted the state's stay-at-home order could extend into June. This was supposed to be their time. The news did not come as a shock. EPA's enforcement of clean water laws sinks. Under Trump, the agency cuts back in Great Lakes region. Senate okays $483 billion virus aid package. House members headed back for Thursday vote.
USA Today.
Trump's border vow sets off alarm. Suspending immigration is called a political move. President Donald Trump's intention to suspend parts of the U.S. immigration system could have wide-ranging implications for industries that rely on foreign workers, experts say. He asked for help, and they sent him away. One Detroit family's horrifying losses to COVID-19 shine grim spotlight on racial gaps in testing, care. Senate okays $484 billion boost aid small businesses. Measure revives fund for paycheck protection. The bill would inject the Paycheck Protection Program with more than $320 billion. The measure would also bolster disaster loan and grant programs that have dried up amid the pandemic. Earth Day goes digital for 50th anniversary.